check me, boo.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So we are back for episode 3 of Little Fires Everywhere, and things are heating up. So remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's just get straight into it. Okay, so we start off, which I'm assuming we're just going to start off every time like a little flash of somebody else's life. So we start off with Bebe, who is Mia's co-worker. She's a Chinese lady. We start off with her newborn daughter. The baby's relentlessly crying. She's trying to breastfeed her. She won't latch on. And essentially she can't, she doesn't have any money to provide for her, to feed for her. And then she doesn't have money to like keep the lights on. She's really struggling a lot. So Baby actually takes who she named her daughter Mei Ling to a fire department, and she just leaves her outside. So we start off like that. Now fast forward back into present. Mia and Maybelle are at the Chinese place, and they're working, and they're just, just talking or whatever. And so Mia is telling Maybelle, Mia is telling Bebe that she should, look for her baby. And Bebe is saying, well, what do I do? She's like, oh, well, I'm no longer her mother. I'm pretty sure someone else is her mother. And Mia's saying, you will always be your mother. And she's saying, well, I can't look for her. I'm a legal immigrant. If I go to the police and ask them to help me find my child, then they're going to send me back to China. Mia's like, well, I don't know, we'll figure something out. So, all the teenagers of this episode, their world is revolving around homecoming. For some reason, there's this discussion if homecoming and prom are two different things. I don't know how this works at most schools. For us, homecoming was more centered around a football game. There was no, like, we didn't have a dance for homecoming. We just had, like, it was just homecoming as for the football game. There wasn't like a school dance. And then we had, of course, prom. So Pearl wants to go to homecoming with Moody, and of course Moody doesn't want to go. Moody just wants to spend all of his time with Pearl by himself. And so I was right about Miss Lexi and her thieving behind. She did take the letter. She took that letter that Pearl had written and paraphrased and flipped it around and made it into her own. And so she's reading this letter to her boyfriend, which is Brian. He's black, remember. She's written the letter to him, and he's like, oh, I didn't even know you went through all of that. And he was like, because normally, you would have said something. So she tries to cop an attitude with him about it, and he's like, whoa, I didn't mean any harm. Like I said, you just, you would have said something if you were going through all of this. And so once again, they discuss, mostly in shows or movies, there's the stereotype of the girl is going to give it up on prom. So he evidently, she's told him on prom he can get the goodies, but they're not going to prom, they're going to homecoming. So he's like, he doesn't see the difference in between the two. It's still the same, but she's like, oh, no, we're gonna wait till prom, whatever, but we're gonna come back around to that, honey. So we've moved on to the family dinner. We've moved on to the family dinner at Chateau Richardson, and Pearl is there as always, and Brian comes over this time for dinner. And Elena makes a comment, why is it always so hard to get you here? And when they started talking, I see why it was so hard to get him there, because he knows when he goes over there about to say something crazy. So when Elena introduces Brian and Pearl, she goes, oh, y'all should have so much in common, and walks away. And he's like, wow. And so he makes a joke about it, because he's like, oh, well, I guess because we're both black, then of course you're interested in all the things that I'm interested in. Somehow this goes over Pearl's head, like she didn't process it, she didn't get it. I don't understand. So they're just having these conversations around the dinner table, and everything, I don't know if they just chose this topic because Brian was there, but everything is on the subject of minorities and all the things that we go through in life. And Brian is kind of there to help try to guide the conversation in educated direction, but they're just talking crazy at the side of their necks. I see why he doesn't go over, because he's like, I just don't want to deal with this. So while they're having this discussion, Moody's like, oh yeah, this is, just like what Pearl went through at school. And so Brian, just meeting Pearl, he's like, oh, what happened? So Pearl, basically goes over it real quick about what happened. And then Brian knows right then and there, oh, that letter I heard earlier from Lexi wasn't her story, it was Pearl's. So he's giving her the side eye already. So from then on, he's like, okay, I'm not really messing with you like that. Like, he's really trying to avoid Lexi at all costs, and she just doesn't get it. To her, it's no big deal. It's nothing. So at this dinner discussion, it's also mentioned to both Elena and Bill that the kids are at school, calling baby Izzy names. And she's like, oh, well, what are they saying? So basically it comes out the table that they're calling Izzy gay. Bill tried to cut the conversation off as soon as it started, so I felt like Bill already kind of knew, but I'm gonna come back around to that again about him knowing. But I feel like Bill already kind of knew. Either he feels like Izzy is, or she's either talked to him, but I'm not really sure yet. We'll come back around to that. But Elena is looking, of course, she's shocked at the other end of the table, like, oh, why would they be saying these things about you or whatever? So Izzy gets up, of course, and she storms off from the dinner table, and we move on. So Mia is doing her detective work, and she actually goes to a fire department there in Shaker, and she's trying to find out if somebody left a baby outside this specific fire department. She's describing the baby, what happened and when she was left, and the guy's telling her, oh yeah, I heard about it, but it wasn't this fire department. So she's like, oh, well, is there anybody who can help me? And so he's telling her the same thing Bebe said, go to the police, but she knows she can't go to the police. So she's asking, like, well, is there anyone else like around besides the police that I can talk to? And he's telling her, no, your best bet is going to be the police. But of course she can't go to the police because Bebe is illegal. So Elena wants to be a concerned mother all of a sudden, and she's talking to baby Izzy, and she's alluding to the question. She's asking her if she's gay, but in the process of doing this, she's giving her this advice of how she faked it until she made it. And so I immediately knew that Izzy's gonna try to do that same thing. She's gonna try to fake it until she makes it. So for now, we're just gonna assume Izzy is gay. Okay, so I already know that Izzy's gonna go out here and pick up some random boy just to date and prove that she's into boys, just so everyone at school will stop teasing her about her sexuality. There is this stupid law in Shaker about having your grass can't be over 6 inches. So Bill goes over to mow Mia's lawn because she let the grass grow over 6 inches, because apparently people are out here with rulers measuring grass. And while he's there, Mia asked him, since he's a lawyer, if he has any lawyer friends who would work pro bono. And if you don't know what pro bono is, you're working for free. So he was like, no, I'm pretty sure, none of my colleagues would work for free. Everybody wants a little money in the hand, honey. So this is yet another roadblock in the way of Mia trying to help Bebe find her baby. Mia is also helping Elena plan a birthday party for Elena's friend Lisa. Now Lisa, her daughter, is about to turn 1. And while Mia is helping Elena get the decorations and stuff together, she is telling Mia, this birthday is this first birthday for this baby. Mirabelle is special because, Lisa and her husband couldn't have kids, and it was a miracle that they adopted this baby because somebody abandoned this baby outside of a fire department in the dead of winter, and it's a Chinese baby girl. So Mia is taken aback. She's like, oh my God, this sounds like this is Mei Ling. This sounds like this is Bebe's baby. I found her. After this advice that baby Izzy got from her mother, she goes and she tells Moody and Pearl and their friend, I don't know who he was, honey. He was just there. But she's like, oh, we should all go to homecoming, which I knew this was come up. So she attached herself to them, and she's like, we should all just go as friends. But of course, there's an extra guy, so she'll use him to the best of her abilities. And at first, like I said again, Moody does not want to go, but because Izzy wants to go, that kind of helps Pearl sweet talk Moody into going. But Moody is only going to go if at the end of prom he gets to, at the end of homecoming he gets to spend some alone time with Pearl. But we already know that Moody is really infatuated with Pearl. Even though Pearl said she liked Moody, we can also see her kind of backtracking at the same time. So she's just not into him the way he's into her, because we already know that she likes his older brother. Now, Lexi overhears that they're going to homecoming, so she offers to take Pearl dress shopping. So when she takes Pearl dress shopping, this is her way of saying that she wrote a letter based off of Pearl's experience, but not telling Pearl that she used her letter and just swap some things around. So she makes it seem like, oh, you just inspired something that I wrote. Or at least that's the way that Pearl takes it. Also, in this discussion that they're having between Lexi trying to get one over on Pearl, there's this thing where we can just never be beautiful and black and beautiful. Like, I just can't be cute and black. I gotta be cute and black, but then I gotta be mixed with something. Why can't, like, in order for someone of color to be exceptionally beautiful, there has to be something else mixed in their bloodline. And so Lexi is saying these things about, oh, I knew that my boyfriend was mixed because his hair is different. And she's like, and I ended up being right because there was somebody down his line. So she actually asked Pearl about her dad. And so we've already discovered that Pearl doesn't know anything about her dad. But Lexi's like, oh, well, you should ask your mom about your dad, because I'm pretty sure that you're mixed, because you can't be this pretty if you're not mixed with something. There's no way you can just be fully African American and out here slaying the girls. So Lexi buys Izzy a dress. I'm pretty sure it's out of guilt, but she buys her that dress for homecoming. And Pearl goes home with this hand in tow. And when Mia sees the bag, Mia's like, oh, well, what's in the bag? Well, she's like, oh, I'm going to, homecoming with Moody and friends. And she's like, well, let me see the dress. And so Pearl doesn't want to show Mia the dress because it's expensive. And so when Mia sees the dress, Mia flips out about the price and about her letting Lexi buy the dress for her, and this turns into an altercation, because Mia is telling Pearl, don't let people buy things for you and then you feel indebted to do things for them because they bought something for you or did something for you. And so this when Pearl goes off, Pearl's like, I'm sick and tired of having to shop at Goodwill. I don't have the finer life that everybody else has. And this is when she says, I want to know more about our family, where we come from. I want to know about your parents, her grandparents. I want to know about my dad. And Mia's like, I already told you, like, your dad doesn't matter. And so Pearl then says, well, maybe if I knew my dad could help us out of this situation that we're in. And so when she says this, it really hurts Mia, because Mia tells her, everything that you've ever wanted, I've figured out some way to give it to you. And now it sounds like you're being very ungrateful. And so then Pearl is choking on her words, because she's like, oh, I didn't mean it like that. And, Mia's like, you know what? If this is what you want to do, this is the life that you want to have, go ahead, girl, go at it. So, Izzy, Elena also finds out that Izzy is going to go to prom, and she's super excited about it. So, the next day for prom, or homecoming, I keep saying prom because it's all the same to me. But the next day for homecoming, Mia takes Pearl over to the Richardsons. so she can go with the kids. And Izzy comes running out, and she looks really good. She's dressed in this emerald green dress, and she has her hair pinned up, and it's in these soft little waves. And she runs out of the house, and she's like, oh, Mom, I need your help. And the glance that Izzy and Mia share, Mia's looking at her like, I know this isn't something that you want to do. But she said she cut herself shaving. So Elena goes in and Elena helps her, and she's kind of giving her advice on it. And you can tell that Izzy is just awkward about this whole thing in general. And on this side, you got a mother who is willing to help her child get ready for, you know, this coming of age passing. Whereas when Mia was laying Pearl's edges, honey, it was tense. She was snatching her neck left and right. I was like, oh, she gonna break it. But so, you know, she helps her. She gets her all cleaned up or whatever for the knee, because she had, you know, cut herself. And she gives her some lipstick, and when she leaves, you can just see Izzy looking at herself in the mirror like, this is just like, this is not me. Now, while Mia is at the house, after she drops off Pearl, she's gonna go with Elena to Lisa's house for the birthday party, under the guise that she's gonna be there to take photos of the birthday party and, you know, the baby. We all know she just wants to go there to see if this is Bebe's child. So she goes to the party, and really she's not doing anything. Like, Mia snapped 3-4 pictures, and that was it. Like, she snapped a picture of Elena, and I think she might have snapped a picture of Bill or something. She, like, wasn't taking pictures or anything. She was looking for the baby, but she found out the baby was asleep. So she's trying to figure out how she can get herself to the baby's room without anybody noticing. So Mia actually makes her way to the baby's room, honey, and she was flipping that child left and right. I was like, be gentle. She was like, oh, shh, it's gonna be okay. I'm just gonna turn it this way. And, like, I get it. She's in a hurry. She doesn't want to be up there caught. And then she finds the birthmark that the baby does have, that Bebe said she had, which is very rare. It's a red birthmark in the center of her forehead. In her skull. So she did find it. So then she knows that it's her. And she's in there kind of having, like, a celebratory moment. But then Elena catches her up there with the baby. And she lies again and says that she was up there, you know, trying to get pictures of her while she was asleep. But she woke up and she was fussing. And I just want to say, no matter what Mia says to Elena doesn't trust Mia, because you can always tell, like, Elena's like, that don't sound right, like, girl, you lying. And I forgot to mention in the last recap that the only reason I think Mia got to keep her job at the house is because she came up with another lie, and all she did was make Elena feel good about herself for giving a black woman somewhere to stay. So that's how she kind of got over, because she came out and was like, oh yeah, I did have somebody call you and lie about what was going on, you know, about my reference. But it's so hard, you know, and she kind of gave her a sob story, and so she made Elena feel good about herself. And so, you know, Elena kind of brushed it off. But anyways, Mia, if you are going to be going to people's houses under the guise of taking pictures, finish the job so you don't look suspicious. She hightails it out of there and goes and finds Baby and is like, oh, I found her. This is your baby. And Baby's like, oh, well, let's go get her now. And Mia's like, oh, no, we can't do that. Well, you should have kept your mouth shut until you had a plan. So Mia gives Baby her key so Baby can go over to those people's house. And essentially to do what? What was she gonna do? Run in there and snatch the baby up and run off? That she can't do that. That's what she tried to do. She pulls up at the house. Mia gives her car keys, and she has someone else take her home. Bebe pulls up at Lisa and Frank's house, and she runs in there in the midst of them singing "Happy Birthday," and she's like, "That's my baby. That's my baby." And of course, you know, she's towed out, and the police are called, and you've got Lisa and Elena sitting there. And Lisa's like, well, what if that is her baby? But she was like, but how did she find out, you know, where we were and who we are and where we stay? And Elena's like, I'm going to get to the bottom of it. Now, Mia, you wouldn't, to me, you're not a suspect right now, but you wouldn't look suspicious down the road if you would have just stayed and took the pictures. And girl, you got to do better. If you're going to be out here lying, you got to commit. You got to commit. Okay. So we are going to Oh, by the way, at this party, one of Bill's colleagues, I'm assuming it's a colleague or friend, mentions the fact that Mia looked good, and he can't believe it. Atlanta is letting her work at his house, and he wished that he was in Bill's shoes. And I feel like that's gonna come back around. Also, I forgot. Also, at this birthday party, we see Izzy's ex best friend's mother. Her and Elena are talking, and Izzy's ex best friend's mom tells Elena that Izzy made some type of advance towards April. That's the ex best friend's name. So she tells her, you know, your daughter like came on to my daughter, and she goes to tell Bill. And when she is telling Bill, Bill's like, oh, well, let's not discuss this now. But you can tell Bill knew. So Elena's like, you knew? You didn't say anything to me? Like, she was supposed to come to me and talk to me. I'm her mother. But Elena, you're passive every time she says anything to you. So why would she come and talk to you? So that's kind of the wrap up that happened for the whole birthday scene encompassing of the episode. Now back to prom. Everyone's at prom. Lexi and Brian are still kind of fighting because he's very upset that Lexi stole the whole plot for her essay. So they're having issues. And then you've got Moody and Pearl, Izzy, and their friend, I don't know his name. Izzy is using him at prom just to show April and her friends, oh, I'm not gay. Now, Izzy takes it to, she's making out with the boy on the floor, and he's got her hands all on her booty and stuff. And so, while that's going on, you've got Pearl and Trip and Moody. You know, Trip just comes over for a second, and he's looking at Pearl. He's like, oh, you know, she looking good today. Tells her she's looking good. They're low-key flirting in front of Moody. He's feeling awkward, but whatever. But then back to baby Izzy. Moody comes and gets her, and he's like, what are you doing? He's like, this isn't you. He's basically telling her, I know what it feels like, you know, I'm the awkward son of the family, and you don't have to do whatever just to fit in. He's like, I like you being you. He was like, don't worry about what other people are saying. So she goes off along about her way. In the homecoming, Trip invites Moody and Pearl to an after party. And of course, Pearl is frothing out the mouth in order to say yes to go. And Moody doesn't want to go. And then they kind of have a little argument because he's like, well, if you want to spend more time with my brother and sister, then go. But she doesn't want to make him feel bad. So she ends up agreeing to just go back to the house and watch a movie that he wants to watch. But she's not happy about it. And I'm pretty sure he's starting to feel it just a little bit, that she's not into him the way that he's into her. Miss Lexi and Brian, even though this isn't prom, Brian is, you know, he talked to Pearl, and he found out from Pearl that Lexi lied to him because Lexi told him, oh, I got the okay from Pearl. It's okay about the essay. And he found out that was a lie. So, you know, they're talking about it or whatever, and he's telling her, you know, that is not okay. You know, to steal somebody else's life story and try to use it as yours to slide your way into college. And so even though it's not prom, like Lexi said, Lexi is about to give up the goods for homecoming. And I guarantee you that Lexi is about to end up pregnant. Let me tell you why. Because when Elena was talking about how Lisa and Frank found Mirabelle, Maylene, she said, if you can't take care of a child, then don't get pregnant. Like, it's just that simple. And I guarantee you that in return, Lexi is about to get pregnant. And the only reason she's giving up the goods right now is because she wants to stop the argument that is going on with her and Brian. So she is using her body to do that. Essentially end the whole thing. Izzy, after she left prom, she takes a bus to Mia's house, and Mia lets her in, but Mia asked her, she said, where is Pearl? Now, you've had Bebe this whole time, and Mia, looking for her daughter. Now you've got, Mia asking about where her daughter is. She's unsure where she is. And then you've got Elena walking out of Lisa and Frank's house, and she doesn't know where any of her children are, actually, because Well, yes, she did. Moody and them are at the house, but she doesn't know that. So essentially, she's walking out and she doesn't know where her kids are either. So, I cannot wait to see what is about to transpire because, like I said, I know for a fact that Lexi is about to be pregnant off this one time. So let me know down below how y'all felt about this episode. Do you think Lexi is going to become pregnant? Do you think that Bebe is about to be deported? And do you think that Bill might start to look at Mia as more than just the lady who cleans their house? So just let me know how you feel about it or how you felt about the episode in general. Remember to like, subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye!